Sounds so good, don't you agree? You're listening to C Flips, He Flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday. EJ, E-Jizzle. Give us a call at the studio, 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130 for all your real estate investment questions. Contact EJ and I as we sit and talk and have a great conversation with you. I want to say good morning to everyone who's following on Facebook Live.
Yes, good morning.
Stephen Lardy.
I have my girl Tammy, Ed, Kevin Polk. Of course, my dad is watching and listening.
All right. I got Titus Henry. What's going on with you, Titus? You a contractor, Titus. We need you, man. Come out of retirement. We need you. You're not that busy with them jobs, man. We got some work for you. EJ and I got work for you. Also, Susan, we appreciate you
Hey,
here.
Nikita.
All right. The show is called C Flips, He Flips. EJ, where can people find you?
You can find me by phone, 773-340-9101. You can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com. If you're on social media, on Instagram, ultimate_EJ and Building Her Legacy Now.
All right. Now, listen very closely as I give you these directions. For all your insurance and financial services questions, I want you to call my office at 708-647-1005. For your insurance and financial-related questions, 708-647-1005. If what you are interested in is real estate coaching, go to my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. Sign up for a strategic coaching session for real estate. Okay, Pumpkin? All right.
Are the instructions been getting a little confusing?
I'm getting strange calls. And so
got a lot of things going on.
I set things up for a particular reason, for a particular purpose. And that lets me know, EJ, I got to get my stuff a little tighter. 3 primary goals to C Flips, He Flips. 1, when EJ and I met, we said that we wanted to create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate. 2, we want to create generational wealth within our communities. And 3, be a source of education and provide resources. We want to provide resources and education to the community. And so that's what we tend to do each and every single week. EJ, I feel like I haven't seen you forever. Although we talk on the phone. We haven't talked on the phone this week.
Yeah, this week was light.
Man, yeah, I mean, we've been busy. I chalked it up to the holiday season. How was your holiday season going? Are you through shopping?
Oh, my God.
This might be a dumb question, though. Do you cook? As much as you eat, you got to cook. You got to cook. Do you cook?
Well, actually, we're doing things a little differently this year. So
Okay.
we're going out to dinner to Ruth Chris, a big group of us,
Okay.
my family.
On Christmas?
Yeah, on
Okay.
Christmas Day. We have never done that.
Okay.
Usually we host in our home, but this year's a little different for me with the loss of my grandmother.
blessings,
So
yeah.
I couldn't bear not seeing her at that table today. So we're switching it up, but everybody's happy.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
I never knew that restaurants were open on Christmas Eve and Christmas until I dated somebody whose birthday was on Christmas Eve. And so, let's go out to dinner for my birthday. I'm like, girl, ain't nobody open on Christmas. People getting the food ready for Christmas. I never knew. And so, okay. So I was telling the listening show, the listening audience earlier on the Urban Business Roundtable that every time I get around the holiday season, November, December, I hit a wall.
Yeah.
It's about being an entrepreneur. Like, you're going so hard throughout the year and you don't get breaks. Like, people get vacations, and if you're a teacher, you get off for a couple. There's no off time for an entrepreneur. So I tend to hit a wall. Like, I can remember one year, it got so bad, I said, I hate insurance. I hate this crap. And then my field executive, he told me, man, well, just take the whole month off. Take the whole month off.
Right.
And, it's a blessing. I could do it if I needed to, but I just hit a wall. This year with Chance the Baby, I really haven't hit a wall per se. I'm excited. He was brand new last year, so a couple of weeks old. Now he can walk a little bit. So we got him all kind of stuff. Do you take any breaks? Are you taking any breaks for the holiday?
I thought we were going to be able to sneak away the week after Christmas, but I'm just too swamped. So I think I'm going to steal away from myself in January.
I balance. Like, I told myself, look, I'm taking out with everybody else. After this show today, damn it, I'm out of here. See me on the other side. But it's too much going on.
Any shopping.
What?
I know. I bought my godkids who live out of state. I bought their gifts, but everybody that's local. I haven't even gotten started. I've just been too busy.
What about the home team, Jason and the baby?
Look, my child, she makes it so simple. She gives you her list and everything you can buy online. So her dad is taking care of all of that.
Right.
He's taking care of all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So this week in business, you've been out. I know you're doing your thing. Any lessons from the field that you learned this week? Anything that you're doing that's like an aha that you want to share with the listening audience?
I don't know about an aha, but this week has definitely been a week of problem solving. Staying out your emotions and getting the problem solved. Like, I really went to a next level in that this week, especially yesterday. Deals falling apart and the trickle down effect of how it. So this is the scenario. Have some buyer clients who have a very tight deadline to get out of their condo because they have tenants moving in. And all is supposed to be happening 2 days before Christmas. Now the lender messed up, and now we have to push the closing back that's supposed to be Monday to Tuesday. Now my buyers have movers scheduled.
Yeah.
The tenants have, and everybody's trying to get in before Christmas. So we did some finagling, had to go way up the chain to the regional VP of the company because they wanted to push the closing back a whole 30 days. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not doing that because people will be on the street, So, you have to be able to just overcome these hurdles and just grow from it. So I learned a lot, what I'm willing and able to do and, to make things happen.
That happens, though. I mean, look, I shared this with you when we were talking. I literally had a real estate transaction fall apart at no fault of my own. Now I got enough stuff that I do for me to, for stuff not to work. Like, I do enough stuff that, okay, if it's me that I did it, I can accept that. But when stuff don't work right and it has nothing to do with me, it pisses me off. So,
it's the same thing.
Man, so this buy hold story, got a property, right? And I'm in the middle of a transaction, and I get a notification from the credit bureau that my score drops by 50 points. I'm like, why the hell? And lo and behold, it's because of some alarm system that a tenant at one of my properties opened up, and somehow, some way, my name got put on the contract. When we pulled the contract, the tenant clearly signed her name, didn't sign my name. But now, yet and still, my score dropped. So it killed the deal. Like, literally, it killed the deal. The underwriter said, we can't do it. Your credit score is too low. And I'm just lost at no fault of my own. So I had to call these people. And first of all, collection agency, y'all crooks. Like, if you work for a collection agency, go shoot yourself. Not literally, but figuratively. Shoot yourself because it's bad. Because I called them, and I'm trying to get an audience. They don't want to hit it. It's like, forget you, pay me.
Right.
Oh, what ultimately happened is short version of it.
That was a nice way to say
Right, yeah, it's a nice way, right. It's a family-oriented show, C flips, right? So the sort of the story, I had to call the company themselves, pull the contract. They saw it. They said, my apologies. I don't really want to hear that. I'm like, you cost me some money. I'm thinking about taking legal action. How does this happen? But they're going to rescind it, report to the credit bureaus, but it still takes 60 to 90 days for it to clear up. But
going back to the underwriter, these underwriters are some of these lender companies. I felt like you should be able to present that to them and see that was, again, no fault of your own, and we can move past it and make the deal work. You know what I mean?
What's the point of having an underwriter?
Because that's subjective.
If they don't have the appropriate mental capacity to look at a situation and make what I call common sense underwriting. Exactly. Like, a lot of these underwriters, I don't even... You might as well use artificial intelligence for the underwriting process because they have no, and I know what it is. They're beholden to their investors, right? And so they got this investor base that they have to be responsible for their money, so they're really conservative. But I'm like, don't even insult. It's not really underwriting. All you're going by is the thus says the rules,
right? And
that's that. It pisses me off. I know. Use some common sense. You had something on your social media that struck me, and it helped me as I go through this mindset shift. You said that that you're on the right path because things stop being easy. It was a quote you read from somebody and you echoed it. Why did of all the things, why did that hit you?
I mean, I think you grow the most with challenges.
Right.
The failures, the things that really cause you to think outside the box.
Right.
and meet those challenges. I mean, when something's easy to you, sometimes you get a little cavalier about it. It doesn't grow you. It doesn't stretch you. Not that we just want to face challenges every single day, but like I said, with this issue with this closing that was supposed to happen on Monday, I grew so much because I had to think out the box of how to find solutions to satisfy the seller, to satisfy the buyers, and to satisfy the tenants, as well. So, I mean, that's what it is. If you're not being stretched, you're not really growing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I that resonated with me because I try to drop nuggets of things that God is trying to drop in my spirit, and He dropped in my spirit. In all things, give thanks.
Yes.
Which sounds, it's a lot of things you read in the Word that sounds good, but when you actually try to apply it, like
it don't feel good.
It don't, man. Like turn the other cheek, right? It sounds good, right? Like turn the other cheek. But turning the other cheek is like people say, be the bigger person, EJ.
Ooh-wee.
Man, look, sometimes you get sick of sometimes I get sick of trying to be the bigger person.
You know what? I had that happen with the family situation, and I could have responded. And I'm so glad I was talking to somebody this week, and I said, I'm so glad I didn't respond because now I'm clean. I'm clear. I don't have anything to apologize for. You just kind of sometimes got to let people be and act out.
Yeah, but that's
you can't respond.
But that's like
everything.
2 weeks. That's like 2 weeks afterwards. Like you look back and say, yeah, I'm glad I took the high road, man. But I'm talking about in the
moment,
hot.
when my I'm shaking,
hot,
and
right.
my blood is boiling a little bit. Yeah,
like the South Side me come like, you must think I'm a punk. Like you think because you hear me talking about God and you see the suits and I hang out with Titus and Big Cousin and EJ and all that. You think I'm a mark, right? You think. You think it's sweet. Let me give it to you. Let me show you this. You think it's real sweet. Let me give you this other side of me that you don't really get a chance to see.
Yeah.
But
I tell people I'm from the Wild 100, so you can just take that as you may.
Take it as you may. Hey, you know what? And proceed with caution. Proceed with caution.
Please.
So, but in all things, give thanks. And again, a lot harder to do than actuality. But again, I was telling them earlier that I read something where this guy had gotten robbed. And in the midst of the robbery, he gave thanks. And he gave thanks that in the midst of the robbery, he wasn't killed. And then he took it a step further and he said, well, I'm thankful that the guy didn't take all my money.
Wow.
Then he took it a step further and said, I'm thankful that I'm not the guy who's actually doing the robbing.
Right.
Put that in perspective. He's thankful that his position isn't in life as such that he has to resort to.
Yeah, his mentality is not there. His character's not there.
Man, look, hey, I'm trying to get there, man. Look, I'm gonna be thankful these Patriots win today, Big Cousin. Right, and all things, I'm not gonna find a lot of peace if the Patriots don't win. But you're listening to C Plus with Curtis Armandi and EJ Williams. When we come back, we're gonna get into some discussions about real estate. We're gonna talk about 7 signs you're working with a bad real estate agent. We'll get into what does it mean to have a investor-friendly realtor, and then also we'll get on some successful things you can do to find deals in the year 2020. Keep it locked here on C Flips, He Flips. We'll be right back. Welcome back to C Flips, He Flips with Curtis Armandi.
Good morning. I'm EJ Williams.
Call us right now at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. EJ, where can people find you?
They can find me online on Instagram at ultimate_EJ. I do check those DMs there, and also at Building Her Legacy Now. You can call me at 312-340-9101. You can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com.
For all your insurance and financial services needs, call my office at 708-647-1005. That's 708-647-1005 to schedule your one-on-one real estate business strategy coaching sessions. Go to www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. Sign up for your session now. Things are booking up pretty fast. We're going to talk about this. We talk about building your team, and when you start your real estate investment business, or to keep your good business running at optimal level. And one of the biggest parts, or the biggest roles to play in that, EJ, is the real estate agent. I consider the real estate agent the point guard. EJ is a basketball enthusiast also, the point guard on the team. But, every point guard is not a good point guard, and every real estate agent is not a good real estate agent. And sometimes people don't know exactly how to identify a good agent from one you probably should pass on. So we're going to try to talk about, what we've identified as 7 potential signs you may be working with a bad real estate agent. Number 1, doesn't ask what your goals or plans are.
Now, that's just crazy.
Right.
somebody's providing a service to
Right.
you and don't know what the goal is.
Right.
And it's not just about, sometimes, you know, you have an agent that's just so happy to get a client. They get your name, your email, and just start shopping with you. But, you know, what are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? How do we think about exit strategies? You know, they should be able to have a clear idea of what it is that you're trying to accomplish and make sure that they're putting your best interests at heart.
So it's not a cookie-cutter approach.
No.
You know, the different, you know, nuances with real estate dictates that you can't have one strategy fits all.
Right.
But I really think that goals and plans starts with the consumer or the buyer, right? EJ's a realtor, and in this role, I'm playing the investor. I need to at least come to EJ with some kind of idea of what it is I'm trying to do, what kind of niche, what kind of market I'm trying to the target, and not have you try to pick it out. But once I articulate that to you, right?
Yep.
Then you're supposed to know, okay, cool, like, you know, so finding a real estate agent with the pulse, just trying to find somebody that's just going to get in there and do it, that's a no-no. 2, not concerned with the lifelong relationship.
Right. I mean, as a realtor, I always think about, I tell them, I say, now that once you become my client, I expect to be your realtor for life.
Sure.
You know, not only for that one transaction, but most times people are going to need another housing option or solution in the future. You also want them to think of you for their friends and their families, and them be excited to refer you because you've done such a good job. Not be one and done.
It's that word you said, transaction. Mm-hmm. You know, when in my business, in the Curtis R. Muddy Insurance Agency, I try to teach my team members not to be so transactional. Don't get so involved in just trying to do a quote to write the business and be on to the next.
Right.
I want you to think about the process. I want you to think about the steps that's involved. And when you start to think about the actual process, you get more involved. And so if we're in business, you need to find a realtor that is trying not only to figure out your goals, but how can we cultivate a partnership?
Right.
Because if they're a good realtor, they won't repeat business.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the only way I'm able to survive. I spend very little on marketing. You know,
Wow.
95% of my business is referral business.
Right.
People that I've done business with before who bring my name up, and I'm always so grateful for that.
Right. It seems to me that with realtors, that should be like common sense, because you guys don't get, you know, renewal business on a home. Like, it's not like you sell me a home and you continue to get 6%, 7% every year as long as I keep the home. It's like,
right.
So you want to cultivate the relationship. And so as a consumer, you're looking for a realtor, you really want to find somebody that has a vested interest in you and your success. Here's another one. Doesn't do much business. We're talking about 7 signs you're working with a bad real estate agent. Number 3, he or she doesn't do much business.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not doing a lot of business, then that's a sign that either you don't know what you're doing or you have a bad reputation. I mean, it's not rocket science,
Right.
but it's mostly problem solving.
Right.
And if I understand when you're new, you know, your phone is not ringing off the hook. It takes a while for you to build up your brand and your name and your reputation. But if let's say you've been in the business 5 years and you only closing a couple of deals a year, that's a sign that something is not going right.
I'm laughing because it's like, if you ain't got no boyfriend or girlfriend, nobody wants you. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And you got a woman or a man, everybody wants you, right? So
Right.
people want what people want, what other people want.
Exactly.
If you walking around here with no boyfriend and girl, nobody wants. Same thing. You're not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're not doing any business, that's a bad sign of a real estate agent. Let's go with number 4. Doesn't speak the language of real estate.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a lot to know, you know, the laws, and then just the transaction itself, you know, about what is earnest money, what is underwriting, what are the steps, you know. They should be able to explain all of that stuff to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were having a conversation about lenders and identifying those lenders who were just out doing transactions versus trying to see it throughout the whole process.
Right.
That'd be akin to a real estate agent just, okay, I got the contract signed, but can't talk to me about escrows.
Right.
Or you know, can't talk to me about, like, as you said, earnest money and things of that nature.
The standard Chicago contract is 13 pages.
Sure.
They should be able to walk you through every page of that, every line of that, so that you as the consumer are completely aware of what you're signing your name to.
Here's one that a bad sign that you may be working with a sign you may be working with a bad real estate agent that I'm kind of on the fence about, but we'll talk about it. Number 5, the real estate agent reduces his or her commission, meaning that this person is so willing to become the low-cost real estate agent that they're selling their services based upon price.
Right. Now, when you're on the listing side, sellers pay the commission. So some people charge, depending on the home, it can be 5%, it can be as low as 4%. 6%. You tend to see that a little bit more commonly in this market, somewhere between 5 to 6, or even 7. I know some brokers that are charging 7%. So if you're saying, hey, if you as the seller, you've interviewed a few agents, I wouldn't go with the one who is willing to give me the lowest listing fee.
Why?
Because it's kind of like the same thing with when you're working with contractors. You never go with the lowest bid.
Right.
Why are you willing to sell at 4%? I mean, you're going to give me a 4% level, of service.
So you see it as a relationship between their level of professionalism.
Right. You're just trying to get my business, but now I'm going to give you the listing, but are you really going to work my listing? You know what I mean?
But in the contract, the bidding process, if we're not bidding upon price, then what are we bidding on?
You bidding on everything, the attention. Are they actually going to be the ones showing your property? Are they just going to put it on lockbox? How are they marketing? Are they going to pull out are they going to do ads for it? What is their own reach as far as social media? Because a lot of listings are on social media. Like where are they in that space?
Yeah.
Do they clearly know what your goal is? How realistic and how good of a job did they do about doing evaluation for your home? Have they given you tips on how to stage your house so that it's really attractive when the potential buyers are
Again, you're talking about the real estate agent process.
Yes.
So here's why I'm on the fence about this one, right? Because I do believe that there's a price element. I can see the argument that that there could be a correlation between the cheaper commission and the level of professionalism and competency you may get. So I can see that. On the other end, like if you take any kind of formalized real estate education, one of the things that you're always coached about is trying to get wholesale pricing on things in return for volume and frequency. So if I go talk to a contractor, my whole spiel is that Monday Investment Group, we're trying to revitalize the community properties in our community. We're going to do about 50 transactions in the next 2 or 3 years. Right. I'm looking for a relationship with a contractor who, in return of wholesale pricing or a better price, is going to give me, I'm going to give them more work. And that same argument is taught in respect to realtors. Like, hey, you know what? I'm planning on doing these number of transactions. So what I'm looking for in return is for you to give me a break on the commission, because that helps with my ROI. That helps with my profit margin when I look at a deal. So I'm kind of on the fence about that one.
Now I think in that case, then I think most realtors will say, okay, I'll give you a little bit reduced listing fee.
Sure.
But just for the one-off seller, you're just selling the house this one time, then you should be less likely to do that.
I got it. Number 6, always seeking you for your advice. Meaning that the realtor is always, well, what do you think, Kurt? Like if you my realtor and you ask me all the time, what do you think, Curtis? And I'm the client. Yeah, I got a problem with that one.
Yeah, because honestly, I get it the opposite way. My clients are like, so what do you think? They value my opinion because they know I truly understand what it is that they're trying to accomplish. And although I'm not going to say yes, you better do it, I'll give you all of the reasons why you should or shouldn't do something, But I'll kind of tip you over the edge a little bit, because they are looking for that confidence that they're making the right decision. You know what I mean?
I can appreciate the agent asking me from a position of affirmation. Like, for example, if I was the agent, you're the client, hey, EJ, I'm looking at this. I think the single family house would be good for these reasons. What do you think? You know, what's your opinion? This is what I think. What is your opinion? I don't mind them asking me for affirmation.
Yeah.
But for them to go hit me with the Scooby Doo,
that's a problem.
Right. It's like Big Cousin trying to videotape something like, "Hey, Big Cousin, what we do?" What you mean you don't know? Hit me with the Scooby Doo. 7, last one. Bad mouths other agents.
That's a no-no.
Does that go on like in your industry?
Oh, for sure.
I'll throw an insurance agent in the bus in a minute. Hey, I'll tell you, look at me in the camera. Look, if you're not with the Curtis R. Money insurance agent, whatever agent you got, he or she is whack. I'm the Mike Jordan of insurance.
You know what? I actually have a couple of brokers that are watching here now that I have enjoyed doing transactions with. Actually, this crazy deal that I was talking about this week. The listing agent is someone that I know because we have a ton of mutual friends too. So that has made dealing with this complicated deal a lot better. We actually said that, yesterday, like, oh my God, I'm so glad that we have a business relationship and somewhat of a personal relationship outside of this, because I think that's the only way that we've been able to keep this deal in play.
So EJ's taking the high road. I'm going to get in the gutter. Okay, so EJ, your years of experience in the field, right? And Agent John Doe, it's like unethical.
Oh, I know a couple of them.
Whack. And you and I at a social event, and we're talking about real estate, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm a realtor. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the process right now, and Agent John Doe is my agent on it. And Agent John Doe is dirtier than the apartment that Bookman lived in on Good Time, like dirty, like dirtier than Bookman's apartment on Good Time. You know that. You know that for a fact.
I think it will come down to personal relationship. If I don't really know you personally,
right,
I'm not going to be out there wearing somebody else out.
Right.
But if you're my friend or somebody I'm close to, yes, I will say, you know what, you may want to interview a few more agents. I wouldn't necessarily or be leery of this one particular thing. So there's a couple of agents that I will never do business with again.
Sure.
So don't even call my phone.
So the real estate agent that starts their spiel, oh yeah, they're terrible. They're just, you want to avoid that. That's a sure sign. That's not the same thing with insurance agents. Again, if you're not with me, whoever you're with right now, they're not good. Call me 708-647-1005. That's what you need to do. Jokes, but for real. Jokes, but serious.
Right.
So we just identified 7 tips. Right, 7 signs you're dealing with a bad real estate agent.
Yeah, they're not responsive.
Yeah, okay,
they're not attentive to your needs. Great. They can never get out when you want to go and look for properties, or if they're the listing agent, they're never available to actually show your listing. All of those are some other things too.
But great segue to this next topic as we talk about trying to identify an investor-friendly agent. People will always say, you know what, you need to find a real estate agent who's friendly or investor-friendly. And by definition, the definition that the industry has coined is investor-friendly agent, a licensed real estate professional who has experience with investment properties, has worked with investors, and has knowledge of the local market. Said agent will be an investor as well. This will help find deals, analyze them, make offers, and sell properties as necessary. And so here's my opinion. You can tell me what you think. I think that finding an investor-friendly agent is helpful, but not a magic bullet. It won't cure everything. You still have some responsibility and some skin in the game. What do you think, EJ?
Yeah, I think an investor-friendly agent will have another level of knowledge and expertise when analyzing deals and helping you to be able to value properties and things like that. But to your point, that's not the only thing that's necessary.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, and some people are leery about me being an investor myself, and then representing them in investment opportunities as well. And I let them know I can't buy every piece of property. We're in Chicago. We're not in some small market. You know, so it's a level of trust that comes with that as well.
Absolutely. But even with the investor-friendly real estate agent, it starts with that. When I say it's not a magic bullet, it starts with that you as the consumer, as the client, knowing what your goals are.
Right. You have to be clear about your own goals and not rely exclusively on someone else to be able to find you and do all of the steps that it takes to make sure that this is a good deal for you.
Absolutely.
You have to come to the table with some level of knowledge yourself.
One of the ways that I was able to have the blessing when being able to discover, and meet EJ was because as an individual investor, I recognized that I needed someone, a real estate professional, an agent, who can help me find properties to flip, right? I was strong in the buy and hold. The flipping aspect was something that we were growing in, but my preference, my comfortability was in the buy and hold sector. And EJ's reputation as an overall investor, as a real estate agent in that space, the queen of the $50,000 flip, it enticed me. So I had my criteria when we first met and said, now since then, me, her, and Jason all started going together. We a family now. that initial meeting has morphed into something well beyond what we thought when we sat down and met in that first initial, engagement.
And shout out to Maya for connecting us.
Yeah. Buttons Bordeaux, as I call it. Yeah, what's going on? So, is it okay to interview an agent, EJ?
You better.
Why?
This is someone that's providing a huge transactional service for you. You need to make sure that they are knowledgeable. You want to find out what their experience is and make sure that they understand what your particular goals are.
Sure. Anybody you spending some money with, anybody that's taking your money, you have the right to interview them.
Absolutely.
I don't care if it's your barber, your nail tech, your insurance agent, or even, your realtor. You have the right to interview them to make sure that there's a fit. And we have a list of questions which we deem, the wrong questions, and then some of these things we call the right questions to ask a real estate agent. Let's get into them, EJ. You hear this all the time. This will go in the wrong question category. Are you an investor? Now, when I read that, I can see why a person would ask that. So I'm kind of on the fence about that one if that's typically a wrong question. What's your thought?
I don't think it's a wrong question.
Sure.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think what someone is trying to get to is if you're an investor, they expect you to have a level of expertise or knowledge as well.
Yeah.
And I think that should be something that it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
But I want to know what your experience is, your whole experience.
Sure.
Is it just representing investors or, have you gotten your feet wet yourself?
Sure, I agree with that. Another wrong question potentially. How long have you been in the business?
Well, I don't think that's the wrong question either, because you can have some people who already have you can be an investor for a while, then decide to get your license. So you could have had your license 6 months or a year, but that doesn't speak to your expertise.
So I think when people ask the question, how long you've been in the business, they're trying to make a correlation between your skill set or competency level with the number of years you've been in the business.
Right.
To say it another way, if I've been in the business 30 years as a real estate agent, then i.e. just by virtue of that time, I'm supposed to be very good, and that's not.
That is not true.
You can find the person who had just started out in their business 6 months to a year, who is hustling in their business, has learned some of the most cutting-edge techniques to help you market and find deals. And in comparison to the fat cat who's been in there 20, 30 years, who's maybe not as engaged in their business, that can be a true benefit.
Or have very little experience working with investors. They may just be listing agents, you know, and only maybe 80% of their business is, representing sellers.
Sure.
That doesn't make you a good broker for me as an investor.
Gotcha. Another wrong question, maybe you don't want to ask a real estate agent in this investment space. Can you help analyze deals?
Who wrote this thing? Because that's crucial. That's crucial, to know how am I, if you're an investor who relies heavily on the cap rate, how knowledgeable are you about that? How knowledgeable are you about neighborhoods that tend to be more tenants than homeowners?
Right.
And it's so much that goes into analyzing deals. Or even if you're a flipper, an agent that can possibly walk through a project with you and help you estimate how much it's going to cost to get the building or the home where you need to get it. So it's a lot of things
that term, help analyze deals, is vague.
It is.
Like there are things that I think a real estate agent should do. Like, for example, I should be able to call my real estate agent and say, what are the comps in this area?
Right.
Right? That's a part of the analysis process, right?
Yep.
But that is something in the scope or the realm that I think a real estate agent should do. I don't think I should come to my real estate agent and say, help me determine what my ROI on this deal would look like. Right? That's something that I need to crunch and have a good grasp on. So I think when they said this, I think they're talking about analyze deals from a financial standpoint as to if this is a viable deal for me or not. I think they're real estate related. But it's funny, in that term, as an investor, if you're looking at properties on the MLS, and most investors don't have access to the MLS unless you have your license or have someone on your team to do that, you find, I've found in my experience, some conflict with real estate agents. For example, what I mean is that knowing the comps in the area is important to me. And then by virtue of what I do as an investor, I'm going to make a bid on a property that's pretty low, right, in order to maximize my return, which pisses some realtors off because they're like, I'm tired of running comps for you on these projects and putting in contracts on these offers, which are low to begin with, and the success rate for you getting the contract accepted is low, and I don't have the time for it. that's in direct conflict for my goal as an investor because I'm trying to get the property. I'm trying to get something that's worth $1 for like a quarter, right?
Yeah.
So I've always had a hard time with, balancing that, EJ.
Well, you know what? I have run into some investors over the years that I found is not going to be a good fit for me.
Sure.
Because they want to extreme lowball every offer. And when I know that they're not going to accept that.
Sure.
So at some point you have to, if you trust your broker, you have to listen to what they're saying.
Sure.
I want you to win. I want you to get it and acquire the property for the least amount of money, but I don't want my time wasted. Shooting off 20 or 30 offers that are lowball, that multiple offer situations that, they're just not going to stick.
Sure. And
so it's a fine line. It
is a fine line, but it goes to not being a one-trick pony, being able to find deals not just through like the MLS, for example. You can find deals, but that's directly in conflict with how you coach and how you train. Mm-hmm. Make these ridiculous low offers and give yourself enough room for it to come up. And then if it gets denied the first time, circle back, your follow-up system. So, hoop to tomato. So, wrong question. Do you have a deal that's right for me now? EJ, I'm going to work with you, but you got something hot for me right now? Like
and that's the determining factor whether or not
you got to have something, man. You got to have something for me. Do you have something for your boy right now to get this money, get this bread? I got a kid to feed. You got this money right now.
I think that shouldn't be the only determining factor if you're going to work with someone. And they may not be an agent where they just have a ton of deals just waiting for you to scoop up, but it doesn't mean that they can't.
But it's a wrong question to ask a real estate agent starting off, and here's why. Here's my thought. One is that you, as a real estate agent, you want to work with closers. You want to work with serious buyers, right? You want to work with a person who it's not going to waste your time. You put in a good offer. They got their financing intact. Their credit's ready to go. They know what they're doing. They're ready to go. So you can get paid. Everyone's happy. So why in the world, our GP, when we first meet, if you did have something that was hot and ready to go, why would you reserve? And if you're a good agent and you're doing your thing, you got other clients who've already fit that criteria. I would think that for those pocket listings, you're probably going to give that to,
because they can close on it.
Exactly. So wrong question to ask. Okay, so hopefully these are some good questions to ask.
Yep.
One, how do you find deals for clients? Very appropriate question.
Yeah.
Like, what's your method?
Right.
Yeah. What's your method?
Did I find? Obviously, I use the MLS, and because I'm an investor myself, people come to me with deals all the time.
Sure.
So I'm always looking for opportunities, not just for myself, but for my clients. I have my capacity, but I'm always looking to help somebody else win as well. So it's a lot of different ways. Wholesalers, I'm on a lot of wholesalers list.
Yeah.
So I get those calls quite often. There's the Cook County Land Bank. Then I can teach my clients all the non-traditional ways of looking for, deals themselves too.
I want to know how my real estate agent finds deals because it helps manage my expectations as a buyer, right? If I know that you find deals strictly on the MLS, not a bad thing, but I know that all the leads you send me are going to be highly competitively. There's going to be a lot of competition for these particular products, for these particular properties. If you're a wholesaler, I know. We're going to do a whole show about my feelings about wholesale. But if it's wholesalers, I know it could be some kind of assignment fee in the transaction
and that's okay.
that impacts my margins.
I believe in everybody gets to eat.
Yeah, within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah, within reason. Yeah, everybody eats, but don't kill the deal, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah, they can kill the deal sometimes being too greedy.
Good question to ask a realtor. How do you communicate?
Oh, definitely, because everybody's communication style is different.
Sure.
Do you prefer text? Do you like phone calls, email? What's your expectation on when I reach out to you? How soon you want to hear from me? So I think that is a very good question to ask.
Number one way to kill a relationship in bit. It's funny how communication always in person, but it can mess up things between your boo. It can mess up things and communication.
It's everything.
Man, people say things like sex, money. Communication is big.
It is.
Personal relationships, and number one thing for me, if our communication, I'm like the mafia. If I hire you to do a thing, I need for you to do the thing you're supposed to do. When you tell me you're going to do it.
Curtis, our Monday, listen, if you say you're going to call him, back or call him at a certain time, you better call him a minute before that time. Because on time is late for him. And 1 minute late is, you just better forget about it. You're done.
Big cousin, like, look, I had your footage for you by Wednesday. I wake up at 5 o'clock Wednesday morning. Big cousin, where's the footage at, man? Right. You said it was Wednesday 5 hours ago.
Messages from Curtis at 6 a.m., 6:15. This man is up and at him early. Okay?
Man, but communication is critical.
Yeah, it is.
Call me back. The thing I hired you for, I need you to, like the mafia, I need you to do that very thing that I hired you for when you say you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm expecting. I'm making all my expectations based upon that. Another one. This is the big one. How fast can you act? That's a question you should ask realtors.
Yeah, and definitely if you are looking to invest, because properties hit the market and they're gone the next day. So you need, I think, and if you're an investor, you need a full-time agent.
Yeah.
Someone who can go out the same day. If it's something in this particular zip code or neighborhood that the properties are only sitting for a day or two before they go into contract, you need to be able to go and see that immediately and be able to have the access to do that. You can't I'll see you after work, in 2 days on Saturdays. That's not going to work out.
Nah, but that goes to your systems, right? If you got systems in place to help you with, and as you evolve, and I think, if you're a serious real estate investor and you want to do this full time, you'll evolve to having someone on your team to look at acquisition.
Right.
Like you'll have somebody involved. You can evolve to the point where you can have somebody go out to look at potential properties, vet them, know how to walk them, give a pretty fair estimate of repair costs, and come back to you and say, this is good, and you pull the trigger.
Right.
But with your real estate agent, though, how fast can you act is critical. Mm-hmm. That goes back to the interviewing process, right? And that's why you want to interview them. When you interview them, you want to get an idea, like things like, do you have an assistant? Right? Are you part of a team?
Right.
Because if you're really good at what you do and it's just you it's inevitable you're going to fall into the category or the trap that hits all successful one solo acts, that you're really, really good, you're in high demand, but you stress too thin. Mm-hmm. This is one conversation that me and Big Cousin have all the time. Big Cousin is great. He's great with videography and things of that nature, but one of the things I asked him, I said, how do you duplicate yourself, right? Ooh. How do you, because people want you. They had a good experience with you, so they want you, right? How are you able to take you and exponentially create a system where there's no lack in coverage, there's no lack in quality, and this time no lack in speed to market? And I don't have a magic bullet for it, but it's one of the questions that as entrepreneurs that we're all faced with. How do we get scale? I always wondered that about restaurants. You got to, and you greedy. I shouldn't ask you. EJ greedy is hell. I don't know what is goals. Like EJ eats, she stacks well, she got like a great figure and everything, but she don't gain no weight. Like it just go to her brain. She just gets smarter. Like, but I always wonder about restaurants, EJ. Like you got a good restaurant, right? You make rib tips, great, and then you start to expand to other. Like I feel like every store removed from the original store, it loses. The sauce don't quite taste. It ain't quite, it's too much gristle and fat. Like, because at that one store, right, you're able to get TLC, 10 to 11 karat, and you get, so being fast with realtors is important, because if you're not that, it loses it.
True.
Last one. Are you working with other investors that share my criteria? Good question to ask.
That is a good question.
Competition.
Right. Like
what makes me, if you're working with other investors that are looking for single family homes in Roseland, what makes me think that I'm going to get the nod versus, Samuel? What makes me think I'm going to get the nod?
Thankfully, I don't have that problem too often.
Sure.
But sometimes you just have to go who asks to see it first, and you can still show it to both of them. But I'm just really honest.
That's a good question.
I'm just really honest. I'll say, hey, I actually showed that property yesterday to another client, and I'll tell you what I thought of it. Do you still want to see it? I think it's worth, submitting an offer, even if you know what I mean?
Damn good question. You're a realtor, right? You've been in the business for a while. How do you do that? You got multiple investors, right? They're all pretty solid. You got a hot deal. How do you determine who?
But you know what? Everybody's in a different life cycle. You know what I mean? Everybody is. Sometimes it's not, in my experience, it's not too often that I have investors looking to pull the trigger at the same time for the same property.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess I would always use integrity.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, and then figure it out from there.
Like in the insurance world, if we have various people who come to us, like body shops, that says if your client has an accident, we want you to refer your body shop to us and refer our body shop to them. And so what we do when we do referrals, we send like 3 of them at a time. You know, go to ABC Body Shop or 123 Body Shop or Heat Fix Body Shop.
Right.
And then you choose between. So, but I got what you're saying. You're saying that you may find a transactional opportunity, and based upon your client base, it doesn't fit everybody. So you try to
And I have Sherry watching on Facebook. She said, what may be for one person may not be for somebody else.
Yeah,
and I
good.
find that, very, although you made the same neighborhood, the same price point, but they don't have the same, feeling about it.
Sure.
So, it's, I don't run into that too often, though.
And that's the reality. And the other reality, too, is that every week, EJ and I have this litany of things we want to talk about, but we never have enough time to talk about it because it's time to go already.
Are you serious?
It's time. I mean, it's 11:56. We got to
Wow.
peace out in the second. Peace out. But at least next week we'll maybe get into these 11 effects, and it's cool because it's closer to New Year's, so that'll be good. We'll get back. EJ, some parting words for our listening audience.
Hey, if you are not investing in real estate, you need to ask yourself why, and then call me so that I can help you to figure out how you can do it, why you should do it, and let's set some goals for 2020. I've been doing that a lot, for people as this fourth quarter is coming to a close. We're about to enter into a new decade. I'm offering some new investor training opportunities as well, where you can actually come on one of we actually have 2 different projects, and you can follow us, come and learn, get access to our resources, see how we make the magic. And you don't have to worry about losing any of your own money.
Go on. Where can people find you, EJ?
You can call me 773-340-9101. You can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com. You can follow me on Instagram, ultimate_EJ, and Building Her Legacy Now. And let's set up a call so that we can get you going for 2020.
Absolutely. For all your insurance-related needs, call my office at 708-647-1005. That's 708-647-1005 to schedule your one-on-one real estate and business coaching sessions. I want you to go out to my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. Thank you to all our supporters who are on Facebook Live.
Yes,
Titus Henry.
so many.
Cheap and quality don't go together. I get that. Frank Silas, thank you. DeJuan Pace, what's up to the bros? Rue. Andrea Johnson, we appreciate you. Darrell Digby and Lois Pitcher, we appreciate you also. I want to say Merry Christmas to you, EJ, and your family.
To you.
And wishing you guys a pleasant and blessed Christmas.
Thank you.
To all my listeners, we appreciate you for all your support with She Flips, He Flips. Be sure to support all our preferred referral partners, Nina Gonzalez, also Corey Singleton, and we got somebody new.
Sean Bacon.
Sean Bacon. We're going to have Mr. Bacon on, hopefully next week, to talk to the listening audience. We got to get out of here. We got to go. Chance, Jordan, I love you. See you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.